I have an indesit IWB5113. When I try and start it, the red door light flashes and nothing happens. When I first switch the machine on, the start/pause light flashes as normal. I press start and the start/pause light comes on all the time, and the red door light flashes after a second or so, and continues to flash. I can hear the door lock clicking locked, and that is staying locked whilst the power is on. I have a basic domestic appliance knowledge, having kept my Zanussi washer-dryer going for many years by fault diagnosis and replacing parts, so if there is a way I can sort this, then that's the answer I need, please.
Hi, okay, just to confirm, the door will actually lock? If so, is the door light still flashing? Will it try to put any water into the washer? Regards.
Yes, the door locks. No, there is no water input, and as it happens it had been running when this fault occurred, so we have switched off the machine and this enabled us to get the wet clothes out of the machine. It stopped after it had taken on the water and given a first few spins. Now it does not do anything apart from the light display I mentioned earlier.
Hi, okay, if all it does is flash the door lock light, then this is either the door lock itself and possibly the wiring or the control board at the bottom. Try taking the door lock out and have a look at the wiring, as sometimes on these the wiring burns out on the lock. If this is the case, then the lock will need to be replaced and the wiring repaired. Then see how it goes from there. If this doesn't cure it, then the control at the back will be the problem. But for this it will be cheaper to get indesit to do the repair, as they offer a fixed price repair which is about £105. This includes all parts and labor. So this will be cheaper than buying the board yourself, as they will need to program it with their laptop anyway. But check the door lock first, as say 7 times out of 10 this is the problem. Regards.
I can hear the door lock clicking, and it does appear to be locking the door. Could this still be the problem though, even though it appears to be functioning properly?
Hi, yes it can, and more often it does lock. It's possibly the wiring to the lock which has burnt out. Regards.
Okay, from what I can see of the cabling without taking the lock out, having removed the top cover of the machine and looking down inside, the cables themselves look fine. I also forgot to mention that it did this 3 days ago, in the morning. I was busy, so I switched the machine off, at the machine, not at the socket, in order to deal with the problem in the evening when I got home. When I did get home, I tried the machine and it was working perfectly and has done for the past 2 days until today. Also, if I power the machine up now and try and start it without closing the door, the light display is exactly the same: start light on constant, door light flashing. This leads me to think that it is likely to be the door lock. Sorry to push you for more info, but I am in the Shetland Islands, so engineers up here are twice as expensive and half as good as those on mainland UK. I am happy to order a door switch if we are as sure as we can be that this is the problem, but if it is likely to be a circuit board, I will probably just dump the machine, as cost up here to get the board replaced will be a lot more than £105.
Hi, okay, just try pulling the plug out of the socket and leave for 10 minutes to see if it will reset the electronics. But if still the same, then it's possibly the lock. You can try it, as they are about £21. If this doesn't cure it, then you may be best just replacing the washer, as the controls on these are very expensive, I'm afraid, as you need to get the card reader and the smart card as well, so it adds up to about £300 altogether. Regards.
So can you tell me how to short circuit the 3 cables that go into the switch to fool the circuit board? That would at least tell me which one was at fault. Relist, incomplete answer.
Hiya, the door lock connections should be numbered 2, 3 and 4. If you join 3 and 4 together, this should bypass the lock. Hope this helps, thanks.
And will this bypass any sensor that may be in the door switch?
Hiya, sorry, sensor? The door lock is pretty dumb. Live and neutral supply that operates a switch/lock. This switches the live to another wire that goes back up to the control board. Thanks.
Okay, I tried connecting the two wires together, and although the door lock light came on, it did not fool the control board, and so the machine did nothing. However, up until now I had not removed the switch from the machine, and when I did, I found that the connecting plug to the door switch had burnt out on connection 4. I have used individual spade connectors to replace the multi-plug and now working perfectly.
Hiya, thanks for letting me know how it went. For the door lock light to come on, I think you've not connected the correct wires, or it's been a poor connection. I have the wiring diagram, and with the wires disconnected and joined together, the lock light shouldn't come on when you bypass the lock. If it's working by replacing the connector, it should have worked with the lock bypassed. Glad you got it sorted out and working though. Washerman did advise on checking this early on in the proceedings. Good luck with the appliance. Thanks Fred Blogs 40931.8223957523.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert, now visit JustAnswer.com/YTHI.